Hello, boys and girls, moms and dads of all ages. Welcome back to Rhythm Rose Cafe.
We're back.
You got the dynamic duo here today, just Danny and I again. We might have some late stragglers, but I think we're going to lock them out. Forget it. If you can't honor your fan base by being on time, well, you're just not going to be part of the crowd. So, unless they got a good excuse. Tonight's conversation is going to be about healthcare costs, the healthcare industry, something that everybody thinks they know something about, and most of us know nothing about, because there's so many angles to it that it's almost impossible to have your grasp on all of it, even those people that are in it. So this was Danny's topic. He pulled this one out of the hat, so go ahead.
Well, I guess it's my topic, but it was a topic of discussion for the last 2 weeks when the government shut down and Democrats across the nation were pleading the case for subsidies for health care costs, and that reopened up a whole batch of conversations over the situation of national health care.
That's not necessarily accurate.
Go ahead.
Okay. What the shutdown was, obviously they wanted the continuing resolution that had no add-ons, no nothing to it. If everybody remembers, Obamacare was passed during that administration. In 2021, they realized that they were having a big issue, so they, under the Biden administration, they passed these tax cuts that were due to expire at the end of the year. And the big, beautiful bill, and the Republicans are saying, okay, yeah, those subsidies are going to end at the end of the year. And the Democrats are in full panic mode because their plan, their Obamacare and then their extension of the subsidies, is going to cause havoc around the community, the healthcare community, insurance companies and whatever, because the entire Obamacare system is falling apart. If you look at what has happened with premiums between the passing of Obamacare and today, they have gone through the roof. They have skyrocketed. Now, I'm not smart enough to tell you why they've all skyrocketed. My problem is more with the insurance industry than the healthcare industry. But I think they kind of go hand in hand because that's just, and well, we'll get into some other things down the road. But that was
insurance industry.
That was when you say it came to the forefront over the over the shutdown. It was
subsidies
right.
for insurance.
It was subsidies for Obamacare.
It was subsidies for insurance, whether it was Obamacare or affordable health care. Who cares what you call it?
No, it cares because I pay an exorbitant premium every month, and I don't get a subsidy. Okay, I don't get any help.
Okay?
I don't get any help.
And there's taxes involved. That's the other nut. What I'm saying is Obamacare, or affordable health care, whatever you want to call it.
Affordable Care Act.
Yeah, was not the end all. It was never a good system, okay? It was a compromise system.
No.
Yes, it was. It was a compromise system
was
because
no
originally
compromise.
they wanted to go for Medicare for all, cradle to grave.
Okay, hang on a second. When they passed Obamacare, okay, there was no Republican participation in the program. They told them, we don't want your opinions, we don't want your input, we are passing what we want to pass. Just so we're clear on that. So
it was compromised within the Democratic Party itself.
So it was a Democratic bill and a Democratic policy.
They had what the Republicans have now, a controlling interest.
Right.
Okay.
I got a pen and I got a piece of paper. And what should have consequences.
You have to go back to the founding fathers for that. Okay. Talk to Madison and let him show you.
Which, by the way, have you been watching the Ken Burns series on the American Revolution?
No, but I hear it's good.
Phenomenal.
Is it really?
Watch it, folks.
Did you see
There's
my
a lot of
quotes
stuff
over
in
here?
there.
I got
A
medicine.
lot of stuff in that program. It's really long. It's really wordy. Each episode's 2 hours long. But, I mean, there is some fascinating information that I knew nothing about in terms of the American Revolution. Another story for another day.
No, I
But
bet
brought
it's
him up.
great because
But you brought it up, so
I
I
watched
wanted you
the Johnny Adams series, and that was phenomenal too.
No, this is Ken Burns. If you know anything about Ken Burns, he's a tremendous documentarian, right? He's done a number of different things, and this is his latest, and it is really well done. Very detailed. Very, very detailed.
Well,
Go ahead.
back to what's wrong with the Affordable Care Act. It was a hodgepodge, okay? And I don't know why they veered from it. I don't know why he felt, well, I guess he was one Kennedy away from being able to get the health care he wanted, which was single payer, okay? That was the whole deal. Had Kennedy not died, we probably would have had single payer,
Teddy?
at least for a while.
Teddy?
Yeah, he was the vote. And because there was a Republican governor in Massachusetts, the governor appointed a Republican. And that was the end. That was the end of the Democrat majority, supermajority, 60. They only had 59. They couldn't pass it.
I have never heard of a Republican senator from
Well,
Massachusetts.
they had a Republican governor whoever replaced Ted Kennedy was not a Democrat, okay? Or he's not a Democrat that could be counted on for Kennedy-type votes.
I don't remember that one. But
Well-
go ahead. Go ahead. I trust you.
Otherwise, when we have single payer by now. Anyway, single payer, there's this organization of physicians
Okay,
called
when you say single payer,
Yeah.
you mean the government.
Medicare.
The government.
Medicare.
The government. Right? It's not some private industry that's paying for this single payer, right? It's the government.
FICA, Federal Insurance Compensation Act. That's what I'm talking about. Okay?
Federal,
Insurance,
the government.
Federal Insurance Compensation Act.
Why do you have trouble
government.
admitting that's the government?
Because it's a combination of government. It's a symbiotic combination between government and private industry. Okay, because government doesn't have the control of the insurance. The government uses the underwriters from the different insurance companies independently to set the standards. So yes, there's a symbiotic relationship there. And you can make it even more symbiotic if you want to, okay? It's something that 90% of all countries in the world have. We don't, okay? And we should, it works well for 65 and over. And here's the thing, most of the health care, if you look in the broad scope, who gets most of the health care? When you're 65, it starts to peak and it goes up from there. And you're far and away causing more health issues than people who are between 25 and 45, or 5 and 15. Unless you have car accidents or fall off your bicycle and don't have a helmet.
Yeah, I think that premise is pretty accurate. I think younger people have less of a tendency to have more complex medical issues than older people. I think that's just a natural process of aging. Although there are finding out that younger people now are becoming sicker with more weirder diseases that are more weird.
Well, that's a program all by itself.
It is a
right?
program.
We need a nurse here or something, or a biochemist.
Colon cancer, brain cancers, all kinds of blood issues are starting to be more and more heart issues.
And then you need a statistician. Does it mean that there's better reporting, or does it mean that there's better investigation or better? Well, never mind. That's a whole new issue. Okay, we're going to go crazy on that.
We're trying to stay on top.
We're trying to stay on top. But this is a coffee house, right? And you are supposed to be involved. So why aren't you? Just call us. Not call. We don't have a phone. Type in your little thing, okay? Tell us a comment. Ask us a question. Little side thing. We call this Rhythm Roast Cafe because we were involved in the music business, Nick and I, okay? And we talked a lot, you know, I know I'm going off topic, but, you know, what the
There you
hell?
go, Danny. Thank you.
What the hell? We only got 12 viewers anyway. Who gives a
Yeah.
shit, right? Anyway.
The same 12. Hi, John.
How you doing, Rhonda? Anyway, we used to have a crew of a standing crew of about 50, maybe 60 guys, and they would work every week, you know, or whatever. But in the summer, and we would balloon up to maybe as many as 800, you know, and that's just private security. That's not counting another 150 cops to do places like Soldier Field and Comiskey Park and
Rockford Speedway.
the Rockford Speedway and all these other places. So how did we do it? Okay, well,
What do we got? What's that got to do with health insurance?
huh?
Where are we going with health insurance on this? We want to stay on topic.
Oh, well, I'm going to get rid of them. Never mind.
All right.
I'll tell you about it later. We'll go back to health insurance. Back to health insurance. Okay. My contention was something that took off from something I heard Warren Buffett say. And I have a lot of respect for Warren Buffett. Okay. I'm not a communist. I'm not a socialist. I'm a capitalist. And he represents to me the epitome of capitalism. You know, that's Warren Buffett,
Okay.
you know. And he said something that struck me. He said his secretary pays more taxes than he does, you know. And he's not talking about income taxes with all its deductions. He was talking about FICA because he doesn't pay a penny. Bill Gates doesn't pay a penny in FICA tax. Elon Musk, not a cent in FICA. The only way that they would pay any FICA tax is if they paid themselves a payroll check. They had to write out a check from payroll, not from dividend and not from interest and not from any capital gains, because all three of those are exempt from FICA. Okay, they are unearned income. That's what we consider them, unearned income. Now, Luigi, our fact checker, can find out what the ratio, maybe he can, I don't know. The IRS protects this information to make it difficult to find out. But I would venture to guess that it's close to 50-50 in this country, maybe even more towards unearned income being more of a revenue base than earned income. Okay, because now you're talking about all the Vanderbilts, all the JP Morgans, all the big money people that have investments.
Politicians.
Yeah, and politicians, everybody that invests, not only them, okay, but all your IRAs.
Right.
That's unearned income, okay?
Well, it's
all
unearned
your personal
until
stocks.
it's unearned until you take it.
Well,
You know, Biden in his last campaign was proposing that you would get taxed on unearned income. So if your IRA went up, that you would get taxed on that, even though you didn't put the money
When
in
he
your
says
pocket.
taxed, he's saying income tax. He's not saying FICA.
That's not what he was talking about.
There's no FICA on it. You look it up.
He
Find
lost.
it.
He lost. No. Well, wait a minute now.
Yeah.
Okay. If I cash in my IRA,
Yeah.
I get taxed on it.
You get what?
You get taxed on that.
Yeah, you get
Okay.
income tax, not FICA.
Okay.
Okay? FICA is where you,
Okay.
the FICA is the tax that goes to Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid.
Okay, so why didn't they change it?
Income tax is something different, okay?
So-
You could, the federal government could use some of your income tax to supplement Social Security, but they haven't. It's worked the other way around. They've been borrowing money from Social Security. They haven't been lending it to it.
Right.
Okay? So FICA tax is only on the working class. It's only on people who pull a paycheck and their employer. Okay? They pay half, their employer pays half. Right. Except if you're unfortunate enough to be like our friend Tommy and be a house painter. Okay? He's an independent solo contractor. He's got to pay both. Okay? However, now, if Tommy made all of his money by investing in gold, okay, and then as each annual dividend or quarterly dividend comes in, he receives that dividend and he lives off of that dividend. He pays no FICA, none, zero. Okay. Now, if he has bonds that he gets interest on, okay, he pays no FICA on it.
Okay, so you've talked about
Yeah,
all the avenues where you don't pay FICA.
right.
Okay, so a couple of things. They could have changed that a long time ago. Either administration could have changed that a long time
Right,
ago.
I'm not blaming
Okay.
any specific ones.
And they, well, I'm not blaming
Yeah.
you, but they haven't, and the reason that they haven't is because of self-preservation. Right? They don't
Yes,
want.
they don't wanna get voted
they don't-
out.
No, well, no, but they don't want to get taxed themselves. You know, as goofy as Trump is from time to time, in his first election, you know, and the liberals talk about this all the time. We're going to tax the rich. We're going to tax the rich. Okay. Well, they don't tax the rich because they don't want to change the tax laws because they are the rich and they don't want to get taxed. So they don't.
Yes.
Okay. So this whole thing that they'll preach one way about taxing the rich, except they won't do it because they're part of it. So it's all lip service as far as I'm concerned.
Like AOC, she's
Well, okay.
rich.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, she's not rich enough to worry about that.
Are you kidding me?
How rich is AOC?
I'm going to say about 25,
20 mil?
25 million.
Really?
Really?
She's a bartender.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Marjorie Taylor Greene that just retired, she's worth a ton of money. She came into the thing making about 600,000 or something.
What's her deal?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't followed any of that. Okay, so if you're talking about a system that funds Medicare, okay, you're saying that the funding of Medicare should be expanded somehow to include some of these other income-based sources of income
Right.
that can help alleviate that.
Yes.
All right. Well, it's
That
obviously
can support it.
it's obviously that neither party wants to do that. Okay. So we're stuck. So now what?
I'm saying to you guys out there, that's going to be my platform in 2028. I'm running for president.
Okay.
And I will give you universal health care.
Luigi.
And that's how I'll fund it.
How rich is AOC? Did you find that one out?
It's a very wide span. So it's saying that AOC having $29 million net worth stemmed from debunked articles falsely citing Forbes. It says that her net worth is estimated at $49,000 though, which
That sounds better.
No way.
there's no way.
There's no way.
How do I have a bigger net worth than AOC?
No way.
She was a bartender before
no
she was
So
a
was I.
representative.
I was a
Dude,
bartender
she
5 years ago.
campaigns.
Yeah,
She's
but
got
you
a
turned
war-
into a computer whiz, Luigi.
That's
She turned-
not any part of my net
How
worth.
much
That
does a
sucks.
representative get paid from what state is
170?
she from?
I think it was
170 a year?
174,000 a year.
Oh, there you go. I mean, that's,
So
that's
she's only
about
worth
right.
40,000? Come on. No,
She's
no.
probably got to have two houses, right? Don't they have to have a house in Washington? and a
Danny,
house-
so- Danny, there's a reason people stay in politics for a long time.
There's other references like this is Grok that's doing this whole AI breakdown, and there's references of it being closer to like 5.7 and 9.8 mil.
Okay. That's still a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
It's not still a lot of money
Yeah.
for being a bartender that's now involved in politics.
Okay,
Boom.
so if she had to pay independent owner, sole proprietor, FICA, she'd have to pay 15% on that. So her income would be $100,000. She'd have to pay $15,000 a year on FICA. Okay, I don't care. She can make $100,000 and expend $15,000 on FICA. I don't give it. You know what?
Well, she does.
Well, who cares? You know, I mean, if somebody
Well,
brings it to the
if it's
front.
your money, you care.
Barry Sanders. Whatever. Sanders should
Bernie?
Bernie
Thank
Sanders. Yeah. Thank you.
I know
Barry
you did.
Sanders. I was in a football mood. Anyway.
Barry
yeah,
Sanders said, by the way, that the greatest running back ever in the history of the game is Walter Payton.
He said that?
Yes. I think Barry Sanders is. But
I thought he was better than Peyton.
Yeah, he
Okay.
says Walter Payton, there's no question.
Well, isn't that why he said he quit when he quit? He didn't want to break his record.
I don't remember that, but
know,
you brought up Barry Sanders. I had to throw that in there. Go ahead with Bernie.
I like Bernie. I like
right.
Barry too.
All right.
All right. Anyway, yeah, Bernie Sanders would expose that. I mean, he would. I don't
Would
think
expose what?
a progressive senator voting against the interest of progressive policies.
Well, he's rich too. He's gonna vote for
Oh,
that.
come on. He's almost he claims he's a socialist. Okay. So
Luigi, please, if you will, work your magic fingers.
Do you want to know his net worth? Or
Yeah, I want to know. Yeah, I want to. Let's just figure out how much his 4 houses are worth. Okay. Yeah, he's the farthest thing from a socialist that there is. He's another charlatan. Okay, but so how are we going to solve the crisis? Because the crisis isn't funding it. It's what are we funding and what are we paying for?
well, here, look at it this way.
That's where I'm going. I mean, have you gone past a hospital or a medical center
Yeah.
where they're not building more and adding on
Because
more?
it's profitable.
Where are they getting all the money, Danny?
They're getting it from insurance companies.
Right. Where are the insurance companies getting it from? Us.
You.
All right.
Okay.
And why are they getting it from us? Because we pay them a lot of money,
But
and they don't pay out, and they deny
who
claims.
defends them?
They deny claims. Okay. And you get stuck. All right. I just had a family member that had an issue with a lump in her breast. She had a mammogram a little less than 6 months ago, and they found a lump. And she said, you got to go for a CAT scan. And the doctor says, I need another mammogram before I can do the CAT scan. Well, guess what? The insurance isn't going to cover it because she just had one less than we can only get one every 6 months. Even though the doctor had ordered it and they found something, and they're saying, I need this before I can do this test. They go, nope, got to pay for it out of pocket. Sorry. Go. You know what, and win. Okay. So it's the insurance.
So how's that going to change if it's single payer?
I don't know if it does.
Because Medicare and I've been on Medicare, so I can say
As
how
am
I've
I.
seen it. Okay, it pretty much follows everything that used to be on my Blue Cross Blue Shield policy. I didn't see any difference at all. Okay, I didn't see any difference in number of physicians that would accept me.
Right.
There are some that'll say we're not accepting new patients, but they don't say new Medicare patients.
There's a lot of doctors that will not take Medicare patients.
I've heard that.
I know of them. I have a friend of mine, a gastroenterologist, been a gastro for 40 years, close to 40 years. When he started his practice, there were 3 doctors, 1 person doing billing.
But usually when you tell them I have a supplemental, they'll take it.
Now, they have 3 people doing billing for each doctor in the group. Okay.
And there's another rift, okay? Because you have
Why?
probably 160 is what this website I went to said. And this website is a physicians, what's it called? Physicians National Health Care Program website, okay? So it's run by physicians. And they're saying that as it stands now, a physician needs to join a group in order to survive. They need to join Dooley Healthcare or some other organization.
Right.
Because if they don't, they have to have an office staff to do billing, to do reception, to do all this other stuff, but mostly billing and insurance work, okay, to get to fight with insurance companies for getting the right coding on their stuff. And if they don't have the right codes, they don't get reimbursed for 30 days. They got to forward it back. So they use billing services, which usually increases their price by 20%. Okay, so if there was a single payer system, you wouldn't have to have all of these extra people working for you to sort out what these individual, what United pays for versus what Aetna pays for, what Blue Cross Blue Shield will
I think
do.
with a single payer system, you would just have the same issues that you're having now. Is the government not wanting to pay a certain amount for certain things that they don't feel that they need to pay?
You would know that
They
in
were-
advance.
How?
Because the government's program is a book that you get. Okay, they give it to you.
Well,
You
so
look
is your
it up, you
insurance
can-
policy. You get the same book.
Yeah, but you don't have,
Do
as a
you-
doctor, you don't
so-
have 40 different insurance policy
So,
books.
so,
to look
so,
through.
given the example that I just gave you,
Yeah.
if the person couldn't get the mammogram 5.5 months into the 6-month waiting period, do you think Medicare would say, "Oh no, you can go get it"? No, they
If
would follow the
Medicare
same.
says you don't get it,
You don't get
then
it.
you have to get the Medigap program. Okay.
Oh, so now we have to pay another policy, and now we're back into the private industry.
Unless you want to have a
We're
system.
back in the private industry.
Well, no, there's some
Wait a
systems
minute.
like Canada where you don't do any of that.
Do you have a supplemental?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so why?
Why?
Yeah, because
Because of
Medicare is
Medigap.
a single payer entity.
No, because
doesn't
Medicare
work.
doesn't take care of drugs.
Right.
Number one,
It
it
doesn't.
doesn't take care of long-term. If I had to have
and
physical
your-
therapy for long-term.
And your magic wand is we'll just make it a single payer, and they're going to pay for all of that.
Well, some of these programs say yes. Okay, I'm not so sure about that, only because I don't know how they're going to support it with the cost. Okay, the cost gets astronomical.
You have a little bit more trust in the government than I do.
The government won't run it. The government just funds it. Okay, and
Oh,
that's
so
a
who's
whole
going to run
different
it? Now
thing.
we got to pay somebody to run it?
You do that all the time. Do you think the government runs the Treasury Department?
Who runs it?
People that they sub out to.
Okay. Okay, so every government has an entity that they probably sub out some type of
Yes.
specialization. So
What do
we're
you
still
think they
paying
do?
out anybody. We're still paying out to individuals anyways under your single payer system.
Listen,
And,
I
and,
work-
and if we're using your single payer system,
Yeah.
am I still going to be able to get a supplemental?
yes, if you want.
So I'm still paying an insurance company to cover it. So it's not a single payer system. It's still an inbred of insurance companies and the
No,
government.
it's a single payer basic system. You're based on Medicare. Medicare works. It works for people 65 and over. We found that out already.
If you have a supplemental, it does.
No, it works without it, okay? People are selling their Medicare for Plan C. You know what Plan C is, don't you? Medicare Advantage.
Right.
It's on
It's the
every
worst thing in the world.
advertisement.
Yeah, it's the worst thing in the world to get.
Absolutely. It's HMO.
Right.
Okay, is what it is. All right.
And once you're in, you
It's-
can't get out.
Well, you can't change.
Right.
They have that
Right.
built in, which
Right.
they don't tell you in front of. You get one shot. You
Right.
get one shot to change.
Right.
If you weren't smart enough or somebody didn't tell you that you can change after you found out this guy doesn't, your doctor doesn't really like this Medicare Advantage program. Not only that, but go find a dentist that wants it, okay? Go find somebody who does hearing, that you don't have to travel 12 and a half miles, and then your vision, okay? All these things that you get for free and you don't pay the premium. Why do you think insurance companies are doing this? Why are they offering you Medicare Advantage? They buy it from the government. The government is actually giving them money to take over the management of your health care. Okay, and in return they give you something better than the government is supposed to give you.
Back to my original problem is I don't think the healthcare industry is a governmental funding problem. I think it's an insurance industry problem. I might have said this here before. My friends laugh at me because I repeat it. It's my mantra. I think there are two roots of all evil in the universe: insurance companies and Disney. Okay, and the insurance companies. It's the greatest scam ever invented. When you go into a doctor's office, you have no idea what you're paying. It could be one price here, one price there. Your policy is going to pay so much here, so much there. And then, God forbid it, if it's a Medicare situation, they're going to tell my friend, the gastroenterologist, is if you want to do a colonoscopy, we're going to give you $1,400 for that. And he goes, it cost me $38 to get it done, just to break even. And they're going to go, well, all you're getting is $14. So now what?
I could get technical on you, but it would just bore everybody. It's the part where the actuaries play. Okay, what an actuary is some guy who you never hung around with in high school because he was the best mathematician in the class. Okay, he enjoyed doing non-Euclidean geometry.
Yeah.
That's the guy who you went and paid to do your homework when you couldn't do calculus. Anyway, Those actuaries, those are the guys who give you the probability. You're probably going to die, of a certain death by this time. All insurance companies pay good money for them. They're the basis for their entire financial operation. They're the reason that they put a mission statement on the top. We're going to be able to bring in X amount of money for profit on this particular group. Why do you think they ask you what your zip code is when you go for the insurance supplement or for the change in your plan?
Because they talk about your area and the risk
area.
factor.
They've got the demographics
right.
for that area.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Right.
it has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with an actuary saying 46% of all people between the ages of this and this died of some cancer.
There's
or
a
something
second component, which actuaries, I'm sure in the insurance industry, are just as honest and straightforward and don't skew anything to favor the insurance company. Not casting aspersions on actuaries, okay? But the fact of the matter is that's their own cost basis analysis, and they're using their own people to do it.
Right.
Okay. It's
Right.
not like
They do not dial an actuary.
Yeah, right. They don't, and the actuaries probably don't need. I mean, I know they have to have licensings, but they probably don't go through certifications, and they have to rubber stamp and say my stuff is accurate.
When's the last time you sued an actuary?
You never. Number one. But you also have what you also have now in the insurance industry, and I've gone through it. Is you have the retired nurse that sits in a room and says, you don't need this med. You don't need this particular med. You can use the generic form, and we can save ourselves $30 a month.
Right.
Okay. All right. When the doctor says no, you can't use the generic. It's got to be the original, and the little person in the room says no. You're going to use the generic. Now, what is your recourse? There is none. Okay, you can appeal and you can do all these things.
I think you had a recourse for that because we had a problem once with that, and there's a board for review.
No,
right?
I suggested there should be the immediate arbitration panel.
Right.
Okay, for critical care, for subacute, long, whatever it might be. So if there's something that says, listen, I need this, and they say, take for instance the mammogram.
So do we have one in Illinois?
No, they don't have anything like that.
No.
I don't know. You can always appeal your claim, but you're appealing it to the insurance company.
Yeah.
Okay. So who's gonna listen to that
Which
independently?
they give you the process on the back of your insurance form.
Right.
Process for complaint.
Right. Okay. I mean, if you ever gone down to
This is beginning to sound like the Rain Man movie or
Well,
Rainmaker.
listen,
Wasn't it?
It's like going down. If anybody's ever gotten a municipal ticket in Chicago and you got to go down to 400 West Superior over there because your grass was too high or you didn't have the right sign on the vacant lot, and they go, "Well, we have an independent administrative judge that hears all these," and it's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, right.
They're rubber stamping everything that goes on there, or they wouldn't be administrative judges anymore. Okay, they'd be gone because it's a way for them to make revenue for the city.
Right.
Same thing with these insurance companies. You're not going to get a fair, independent analysis from people that are that have no association to the industry to say, yes, you need this, no, you don't.
So as a defense attorney, is Luigi going to get off? Luigi,
what'd you do?
No, not this Luigi.
Oh.
Luigi Mangione.
Oh, God, who knows, man? He shouldn't, okay? He should not.
If you were picking a jury, would you pick
I'd
mostly
pick the
women?
sickest people in the world.
I would pick nothing but young women.
I would pick the sickest people in the world that just going through insurance things and filing claims and all. I would find anybody that had a beef with an insurance company, whether it was a car accident or whatever. Okay, that would be my initial demographic of the juror I'm trying to pick. Now, to me as a criminal guy, I don't see how somebody that methodically planned, went out and shot a guy in the back, okay, ends up walking outside of it being a complete jury nullification, i.e.
Would it have been better if he went up to him and shot him in between the eyes?
Well, it doesn't matter.
I mean, well, the way you said shot him in the back is like a cowardly thing.
Well, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Okay. It was.
Maybe he just didn't want to see the look on his face.
Oh, and he's a coward. Okay? I mean, he's a brave guy. He takes on the poor schmuck.
No, he wasn't a brave guy for doing
listen,
that.
come on.
This was the simple revenge.
You just said 20 minutes ago that you are a capitalist.
Yeah.
And here you have a guy that grew up in I believe the sticks of Iowa or Minnesota, worked his way up, got a great job with United Healthcare, and goes to New York for a meeting and ends up getting dead. Okay? Just because of his job? Are you kidding me?
Was he the one that specifically rejected her claim?
No.
No.
And even if he was, okay?
Well, if he was, it makes a difference.
Why does it make a difference? That allows you to just
it's a
go and kill
revenge
somebody.
thing.
That's
It's that Sicilian revenge thing.
Okay, well, we take revenge
His
on
name
now.
was
So-
Mangione.
Yeah, okay, so revenge is okay now. We're okay with that? Revenge is
No,
good?
revenge is there.
Revenge is good.
is a thing that happens.
Well, but you're saying that revenge is legal now. Well, let him off.
No,
He
I
did
didn't
it.
say that.
Right, he should get off because it's a revenge thing.
No, he's going to get off.
You know, he got
he's
denied the
gonna get off-
claim, and his person
He's going
died,
to get off
so
for
he
two
should die.
reasons. Number one, women like him. And number two, okay, I mean, that's number one. Women
Right.
like him. Okay? If you can win women, you want a jury. Okay. And number two, men don't want to be in a hung jury for 3 days. They don't want, they want to get out of there.
Nobody wants to be in a hung jury.
Women will be there forever. Okay, just give them a compact.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but go ahead.
But
Listen, jurors take their jobs very seriously. They really do. Okay, having done enough jury trials, I've talked to so many
rank and
people.
file guys. This is
no,
Luigi
they're not
Mangione.
What are you talking about, rank and file guys? I've had
a
all
different
kinds
guy.
of people on my jurors. I had blue collar and doctors and lawyers and you name it. I've had all kinds of people on
That's
juries.
like saying Donald Trump would get a fair jury. He wouldn't.
Not in New York. He
Okay.
didn't. Okay.
Would he get a fair one in New Jersey?
Maybe, depending on where in New Jersey. Let me tell you, I always said this.
Texas?
During the O.J. Simpson trial,
Yeah.
if that trial was held in DuPage County,
Yeah.
that's a 2-week, 2-hour guilty verdict. Okay? I don't care if Johnny Cochran, I don't care F. Lee Bailey, all right? I don't care who it is. Okay, he's guilty in a 2-week trial and we're done. All right? So you never know what a jury's going to do.
Why are people from DuPage like that?
Well, they're not anymore. The Democrats have taken over. Your jury pool is getting much, much more liberal. It's getting much more liberal.
It's getting muddier, huh?
Yeah, it is. But
muddier.
again,
Hey, our friend who isn't here.
But people still like law and order. They still don't like people getting beat up. They still don't like people getting killed. They still don't like people getting carjacked in DuPage. They still don't like it.
On behalf of Roy, who isn't here, okay, I read his page the other day, and because he's a digital creator, whatever that means. I don't know if he's making fingers or.
Okay.
Anyway, Roy says, he has an issue with the mayor of Chicago because of those 300 kids that went rampant, downtown, looting and
it's a problem.
and breaking stuff, and said that the issue was partly the mayor's fault and the other part was the liberal or was it Pritzker, because he got rid of the bail law or something.
The Safety Act.
Yeah.
It's called the Safety Act.
That you needed to have bail for everything. There's some arrests
there's
that
no
you
more
don't
bail
need.
anymore.
You don't need bail for it, right? And he said that this was, and
It's part of it, but I don't see it as being
my
that. But go ahead,
position
your
on that
point.
is my point on that was, if we do that,
If we do what?
if we reinstate bail,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it means these kids ain't coming up with it. We're going to have to house them someplace. So I've heard it's $300 a day to house a prisoner in any jail or in Illinois.
Tell the girl that just got burnt on the L train. Tell the girl that just got burned up on the L train.
Yeah.
Okay. That it if we had to put that guy in jail, it cost you $300
I'm not
a
telling
day.
her,
And
I'm
she's going to
telling
say,
you.
what's it cost in my health insurance in your Affordable Care Act to debris my half of my body because I'm all fucking burnt up? Pardon my language.
I'll tell you this.
Okay.
Well, we could go to if you're a lawyer and you're defending her and you're looking for money for her, you're going to use the projected cost of health care in the next 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And healthcare increases by an average of 7.5% a year. So you'll be building that into your projected cost for a
Okay.
settlement.
Okay.
Well, if healthcare is free, that's no longer a part of your
Healthcare's
settlement.
not free.
If healthcare is universal,
It's not free.
If universal healthcare, Medicare, is free,
It's
like
not
it is for me,
free.
well then it's only $90 a
You
month.
paid into it.
90
People
bucks
are
a month.
paying into it. Okay, it's
You
not
can't build
free.
in that big amount
It's
of
not
money
free.
for
You
the
pay
big
for
settlement.
it.
And
It's
then
not,
you can't get a
nothing's free.
percentage
You know,
of
you're a
that big
capitalist.
settlement.
Nothing is free. It's not free. Somebody's got to pay the bill.
Compared to the cost of medication or therapy for the next 20 years.
Okay, so why is therapy at place A under insurance policy A different than place B insurance policy B if it's the same guy doing the same therapy for the exact same amount of time?
Because over 10 years period of time.
Not 10 years. I'm talking about patient 1 comes in at 1 o'clock, patient 2 comes in at 2 o'clock.
Because I'm talking about a settlement. If you're the attorney for this guy and you're saying, I
No,
want a
I'm not-
settlement that's going to cover this guy for the next 10
I'm
years.
not talking about settlement, Danny.
well,
I'm
that's
talking
what I
about
was-
I'm talking about insurance costs.
Yeah.
If you have insurance policy A and then somebody has insurance policy B, and that they go into the therapist and insurance policy is going to pay this guy the same therapist a different amount for doing the exact same work. Okay, why is that?
I have no idea.
Okay, right. Pricing. Why don't when I go into the hospital, when I
What-
go into the
what the-
doctor, he's going to say, here's what it is. Okay, you do this, it's going to be this amount of money, it's going to be this, it's going to be that amount of money, and it's going to be this, it's going to be this amount of money. Here's your price list, that's what it's going to cost you and your insurance company. Thank you.
You're looking at the bill that says that they had to give you the bill in advance before you go in. That didn't pass.
That
didn't pass, Nick.
I understand it didn't
Okay.
pass, but that's a problem because the insurance companies now have this open blanket, and hospitals have this open blanket based on their coding to charge a certain amount here and charge a certain amount there, and we're going to pay a certain amount here, and we're not going to pay a certain amount there.
Isn't there a board, an AMA board, that makes the suggestion?
They can suggest all they want.
No, they're the ones that make the suggestion that these insurance companies abide by, isn't it?
No, I told this story before. I've got a client who had cancer in his throat. He's got a problem with his thyroid. He's got to go get checkups. And they tell him, you got to go for a CT scan first. He says, I take the CT scan, I'm sick for 2 weeks because they inject me with the dye, my thyroid can't process things, I'm sick for 2 weeks, and guess what? The CT doesn't show me anything, I still got to go for the PET
And
scan.
there's no board of review.
And the doctor, his doctor says to his insurance company, the CT scan does nothing for me. I can't do anything with it. It gets him sick. Let's bypass the CT and go right to the PET scan. And you know what the insurance company tells him? No, you got to do a CT scan. Okay, how stupid is that?
Why don't you just sign the thing?
Who's
CT
doing that?
scan done.
They won't do it because then they won't approve the PET scan, which is a much more costly thing. It's a much more costly procedure. But they won't approve that one until he does this one. Okay? And
can of worms,
so
folks.
the case of the woman that had the lump in her breast, she was supposed to go in for something a little bit more easier to do, and the doctor says, I need this before I can do this. Okay, we're at critical stage here. Oh, well, yeah, we're not going to cover this one, so sorry, pal, your $2,500 a month that you're paying for just went down to $2 because now you're paying that one out of your pocket. Rush Limbaugh had the best. You know what his insurance policy was?
Right.
His American Express card.
Nah.
He had a heart attack in Hawaii. When he went to the hospital, they said, where's your insurance card? He gave him his American Express card. He says, here, put it on my bill. And they had no idea what to do.
Well,
How do we
my
code?
heart attack was
How do we code that?
$108,000.
How do we code that?
Okay.
How do we code that? I can only imagine what your neck surgery was.
Yeah. Well,
That would have been an interesting.
well, the heart attack was $108,000. The correction was another $140,000. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
But and then
You know what I mean? Why? I mean, you hear these horror stories about you're paying $8 for a Tylenol in a hospital.
Yeah, you do.
Why? 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 The delivery charge? I mean, it takes some. I mean, it's like DoorDash. You got to upcharge 35% to get the pill from the pharmacy upstairs, so they can put it in a little cup.
I don't know. Is the hospital costs mainly in personnel, or are the hospital costs mainly in procedures? I mean,
How about the hospital costs is in the addition that they're putting on?
well,
A hospital right down the street here is putting
here's
on
the
a big
thing.
new addition. The Northwestern just put one up in Naperville. Everywhere you go, hospitals
I've got an anecdotal.
are adding on like crazy. Where is the money coming from? It's coming from you and I.
I've got an anecdotal.
Anecdote. You
story
hate
for
anecdotes. You
okay?
hate anecdotes.
You've got 3 or 4 of them in. Here's mine.
No, they're not
All right,
anecdotes. They're real
for
tales.
an operation on my eyes. I needed to have the what do you call it, scraped off. Old people get it all.
Cataracts.
Okay, and so I went. My eye doctor sent me to gave me a prescription. He said go take it to the hospital that you're insured with. Well, the closest hospital was right here in Elmhurst, right? And when I went there, the hospital took my insurance, but the pre-op was a subcontractor, okay? And they didn't, okay? So they said, and it was one of those, kind of an Advantage program stuff, right? And so that's when I first found out that the Advantage wasn't an Advantage. And I talked to my insurance guy, and he said, yeah, well, a lot of the subcontractors, don't work for the for the hospital directly. Okay, they have their own little office, and I said, well, why don't they say that in the book?
How you supposed to
get
know
this
that?
book,
Right?
Right.
So I take certain
time,
medication.
At one time, didn't they have separate billing for the surgeon and the surgical nurse and the
I'm sure they did.
anesthesiologist?
I'm sure they did.
You
I'm sure they still do. Listen,
Yeah.
I take a medication. All right, I got my insurance, I got my plan, I got this, I got that. I go to one pharmacy, it's $87. Really? I go to the other pharmacy. You know how much it is? 0. I pay nothing.
Why?
I have no flipping idea.
Well, then why are they
I
giving
have
out these
no
little cards that
idea.
say a good RX? Did
Right.
you ever get that
Okay,
card?
yeah, I've seen that.
What is
and
that
then,
for?
I
mean, why would a card that you pay nothing for is going to give you a discount on drugs?
The point being is insurance company A. I have insurance company, and this pharmacy was like, yeah, here's what, you got this insurance, so we're only going to charge you this, and this company is going, no, you don't have to charge anything at all. We give that one to you. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Well,
Okay.
guys.
So, I mean, that just in and of itself tells you that the system is skewed. The system is messed up. And I don't know how to fix it. I'm not smart enough.
Well,
So,
I'm smart enough.
yeah.
And I'm only a year younger than Trump. And I'm announcing that my programs will be something you'll like. So vote for me in 2028. I'll be your POTUS.
God. Oh, dear God.
And I'll make you the Secretary of State. But anyway. Like Marco Rubio, right?
No, just make me like
Attorney General.
No,
Pam
God, no,
Bondi.
no. I want to
make a
be
great
like the
attorney
ambassador to Bimini or something, where I could just like be on the beach and sell puka shells.
Oh, the ambassador to...
Yeah, something like that. Don't make me an ambassador of Greece. I ain't going by them people.
It's... I'm going to tell you something. On Facebook, if you get on any of the Greek Facebook groups, like I'm on a few of them just to sneak on them, and you get on the Sicilian ones and you get on the Italian ones, you won't find more conservative people, okay, than those 3 groups, okay? And what they have in common, not a single one of them wants to pay a penny in tax. Not a single one of them. No. And so when you go visit Greece and you go visit Italy and you see everything falling apart, you know why.
Listen,
okay?
a friend of mine asked me, are they rioting in Greece back in the years when they were having all these austerity programs? And they said, are they rioting in Greece because of the austerity? I said, as long as they got their cigarettes and their coffee, they're fine. You take away their cigarettes and their coffee, then you're going to see blood in the streets.
Or the corner cafe.
Now, the Italians, they're going to take away their espresso and their espresso and their
short cigar
and their pastries. Okay, and their little
you're in Italy
delicacies.
when you see 2 old guys with straw hats
Yeah.
those small, standing on the corner doing this.
Go to Boston, you see that right in the middle of the street.
So anyway, folks.
All right,
it's
well,
that
we
time.
hope we didn't bore you too bad. No, anybody chime in? Nobody chimed in today. Nobody wants to hear about
Nobody
the
wants to
boring
know about healthcare.
Yeah, we need to get
Well,
back on.
you watch
Suggest
us.
topics if you guys want us to talk about something. We're always looking for something to talk about. All right.
So good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.